What is going on, Braves country? Welcome back to the Chopping It Up Braves podcast. Once again, I am your host, Aaron. It is August 17th after the Cleveland Guardians series slash the New York Mets series. I didn't get to cover it since that series ended. It's been a good last week or two for the Braves, currently on a 5 game win streak. We are no longer one of 4 teams that have not been on a 5 game win streak this year. So that's a positive to take out of the season. It's been a tough ride, but we're coming around. Maybe we still got like 50 games in the season. I kind of don't want to make the playoffs this year just because I want Snitker to be gone. I don't want him to be gone, but I want kind of a change. Um, Starting to feel kind of old. So with that being said, yeah, it's been a great last couple weeks for the Braves. So let's just jump right into this Mets series. Just gonna go over it briefly, and then after that, we'll go into the Guardian series more in depth, and I'll talk about a few other things that have happened since the last time I talked to you guys. Game one in the Mets series wasn't our game, to say the least. Mets got up to an early 5-0 lead. We kind of came back, or 5-1 lead, sorry. We kind of came back, scored four in the fourth, and then they just kind of went away with it. The rest of the game, Spencer Strider had a really rough outing. 4 innings pitched, 8 earned, 8 hits, only 2 strikeouts. Just not what you want from Strider. I said this last episode. I don't think we're in a lot of trouble. A full off season can really cure a guy like Strider, especially who's coming off Tommy John. He's come off Tommy John before and still gotten back to 100 miles an hour. But maybe the second time is different. And even if he's not back to 100 miles an hour by next year, I think he can work out with the pitching staff and work enough to get it so he kind of pitches as more of a stuff guy than a guy that can just blow stuff right past you. So with that being said, let's just get right into this game. It was a pretty solid offensive game actually from the Braves. A couple guys had 2 hits. Olson, Harris, Albies, and Nacho Alvarez, who's been a lot better recently. He's started really rough in the season, but he's doing a lot better now. Um, yeah, so offensively, it wasn't too bad. A lot of guys, it was kind of either boomer bust for this lineup. A few guys had 2 hits. The rest of them pretty much had 0 hits. No one else uh, had 1 hit. Everyone that got on base got 2 hits. Or not everyone that got on base, but you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, game one of this Met series, not something I want to talk about too much. Went over Strider. Austin Cox came in, gave up 2.2 and he's pitched 5 earned, 3 home runs allowed. Not what you want. Luke Williams actually pitched 1.1 clean innings of work. So shout out to my guy Luke Williams. Moving on to the next game. Big win for the Braves here. This kind of started this did start our winning streak. Had a huge 9-run fourth inning here in this game. Michael Harris, obviously, with a grand slam. This was such a beautiful game to watch because I feel like whenever I watch the Braves, if they're down like 5-0 to like the Phillies, this game is over. We're never going to come back from this. But if it's the Mets, I'm always in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, we're going to win this game, even if we're down, 6 runs like we were in the second, and then we come back with four and then or 9 in the fourth and 2 in the sixth. We hold them scoreless the rest of the game from the third to the ninth, and we take a pretty easy win against the Mets. Jerkson Profar with 3 hits, Ozuna and Michael Harris with 3 hits, Nick Allen with a hit. Just a really good offensive game from this team. A lot of guys walked, a lot of couple home runs. Obviously, that Michael Harris home run kind of sent it over the edge. And Carlos Carrasco thankfully got DFA'd a few days ago. He pitched 2 6-run innings. Um, that wasn't long lived. We didn't really trade anything for him, so I'm not like, oh no, this is such a loose trade. But I'm kind of happy he's off our team now. We used a lot of pitching this game. We used Carrasco for 2 6-run innings, 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a home run allowed. Aaron Bummer, Tyler Kinley, Dylan Lee, Pierce Johnson, and Russell Iglesias all combined for 7 shutout. Um, with 7 strikeouts between the 5 of them. So a really solid pitching game, except for Carrasco. But bullpen has been looking a lot better recently. especially on this, 5-game win streak that we're on right now, that I could not be happier about. Now, let's move on to the last game of the series. Not going to talk about this series too much. Just, happened already. You've probably watched a couple other podcasts talk about it. Um, but anyway, 4-3 win. Bryce Elder. I mean, I've been fairly surprised with him recently. He has been pitching a lot better as of recent. Um, he still has these kind of 5-run or 5 inning, 6-run outings. But he's had a few recently where he's pitched, 7 runs of or like 6 or 7 innings of um, like 2-run baseball, maybe even going scoreless. I think that happened a few days ago with Bryce Elder. So, I'll take what you can get, especially at this point of the season where, we're just looking for any kind of positives that we can get out of the rest of this year, especially after it's been a really rough season from the team. Um, yeah, I mean, just going over Bryce Elder's last starts. He went against the Reds on August 1st. Went 6.2, 2-run innings, really solid. And then against the Mets, 7, 2 earned, 3 runs allowed. But then how you had these games: 2.2 innings pitched, 8 runs allowed; 6 innings pitched, 5 runs allowed; 5 innings pitched, 3 runs allowed, which isn't bad. It's pretty average for a lot of pitchers in baseball right now, especially. Um, so yeah, just moving past Bryce Elder, Jerickson Profar, Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin, all with 1 hit, and then Michael Harris and Ozzy Albies with 3 hits, going 3 for 4 in that game. Ozzy Albies with 3 RBIs, Michael Harris with one. Those two have been really hot recently. You've kind of seen their resurgence in the second half of the season, and it really showed in this game. They both kind of were the main, offensive producers in this game for this Braves team. So since we did win the series, I will be giving a series MVP, and it's got to be the one and only money Michael Harris here. In this Mets series, he batted 550, 5 RBIs, 1 home run, 1 stolen base, and 4 runs scored. He has been on fire recently. I'm so happy to see it from Michael Harris. I was always a really big believer in him. He switched up his stance back to his, rookie year stance at the All-Star break, and look what's happened. He is on fire since the All-Star break. I talked about it last episode. I can only assume his batting average has gone up since the All-Star break. Well, hold on. Um, I talked about his batting average since the All-Star break last episode, and I can only imagine that average has gone up after the this Mets and Guardians series that have happened over the last couple days. So after being nominated twice for series MVP, he gets his first one, and hint hint, there might be more to come for Michael Harris later in this episode after we talk about this Guardian series, which is a very good series for the Braves. This is the Braves, against this Guardian series was the Braves I saw, in 2023, in 2022, and even last year. We won 90 games, which isn't perfect, but it's still solid. It's way better than this year. We were just so unbelievably solid this series, pitching wise, offensively, just very good all around. Game one, my guy Hurston Waldrop, 6 innings pitched, 0 earned, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 hits. He is something special this year so far. I'm super proud of him. He's grown a ton since last year when he came up and was kind of had a really rough start to, his MLB career. He's really controlled that splitter. He's controlled that changeup. He's really controlled everything. His fastballs. Um, it kind of reminds me of that, Colin Coward meme where it's, like, hey Kershaw, you know, Hurston Waldrop is here. Thank you, but we're good. We're set. We got Hurston Waldrop now. Um, so yeah, just great game from Hurston Waldrop. Great, 2 games, a couple really well. His Speedway Classic game wasn't technically a start, but come on. Um, so yeah, great game by Hurston Waldrop. I'm super happy for him. And on to the hitting for this Guardian series. Jurickson Profar with one hit, Matt Olson with two hits, Ozuna and Ozzy Albies with one hit, Michael Harris with a hit, and Nick Allen with a hit. Michael Harris drove in one. It's fly, man. Um, Sorry about that. Nacho Alvarez with an RBI. Um, this team struck out a lot this game, but a win is a win. Once again, especially this year. Just a very sound pitching game from the entire staff. Hurston Waldrop went out there. Obviously, talked about him already. And Days Bell, Hernandez, Tyler Kinley, and Raisel Iglesias go out there for the last three innings of this game and throw three hitless, scoreless, and two strikeout innings with the three of them combined. So, yeah, it's a very sound game overall. We hit Jose Castillo. Is that his name? I don't know. I'm a casual. Um, Jose Cantillo. Sorry, or Joey Cantillo. Can't talk right now. Um, so yeah, just a very solid uh hitting, pitching game all around. Offense didn't show up too much, but it's good enough. Moving on to the next game of this series. Big, big 10-run game here from the Braves. Another sound game on pitching wise and defensive, or not defensively, and on the offense. Joey Wentz with another really solid outing. He's another one of those guys that I'm really impressed with. Ever since coming into the Braves, his past couple starts have been really nice, especially against the Royals and the Brewers had, or not the Brewers, the Marlins. He had a really nice game against the Marlins. Brewers not so much, but these he started four games for the Braves so far, I believe, and three of those four have been really good starts. So I'm happy that we got a guy that can at least just fill in the rotation for now, as Schwillen, Bach, Sale, Reynaldo Lopez, AJ Smith-Shawver, and Grant Holmes are all hurt right now. Um, so we just need people to get these innings for all these hurt pitchers, and hopefully get them ready for next year. Moving on to the hitting, um, Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin with one, each with one hit. Ronald Acuna, I forgot to mention him, back from the IL. This series had a good enough series. Got a few hits, had a double, but he is back. I don't want to push him too much, the rest of this year. I think if he ever says, "Hey, my Achilles is hurting," or anything on me is hurting, you got to take him out, let him sit for a few days. Lost season already, just let him do what he wants and just relax. Um, so yeah, Acuna's back. Two hits in this game. Ozuna and Harris also with two hits, and Nacho Alvarez and Nick Allen with three hits. So Nick Allen also had a really good series this game, and like I said, Nacho Alvarez picked it up a lot ever since coming back up from the majors the second time this season since Austin Riley has been hurt. Michael Harris with three RBIs, Nacho with one, Nick with two, Drake Baldwin with one, and Matt Olson with one. So yeah, just a very sound offensive game from this Braves team, and the bullpen once again pitched, or Hunter Stratton basically is the bullpen in this game. Um, three innings, three hits, three strikeouts, and zero earned. Game of threes here for Hunter Stratton. Not much to say about Hunter Stratton. He's been fine since coming to the Braves. And on to game three of this series. We completed the sweep of the Cleveland Guardians with a 5-4 win against them. Big game from Jurickson Profar today. Had a few nice defensive plays. I believe he had an error earlier in the game that he really made up for with that go-ahead home run in the sixth that we, needed, obviously. So another nice comeback win for this Braves team. We've had three of those, since that Mets series, or since the Mets series to now, basically. Jurickson Profar, Ozzy Albies, and Nick Allen with two hits each, and Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris, and Nacho Alvarez with one hit each. Really solid game hitting wise. Nacho Alvarez had a double. Jurickson Profar had a home run, two RBIs. As he always had an RBI. Nacho also had an RBI. Um, Seen this right? I didn't know about this. I guess Matt Olson stole a base. How is that possible? Give me a second. Hold on. Sorry for the inconvenience. I did not know about this. I didn't get to watch the game today. Matt Olson stolen base. Wow, he did steal a base. Let me watch this really quick. Hold on. This is what I call professional right here. If anyone wants to become a podcaster, not like I am, but do this. Watch videos that you didn't know happened during your podcasts. So while the this ad is playing, um, another good game from the bullpen. Um, went five scoreless. So yeah, just a really solid game from this Braves team. Really solid series from this Braves team. I'll go over it in just a second. Why did it skip it? This is being weird. Okay, it's giving me another ad. All right. Anyway, Matt Olson stole a base. I did not know about this, but Aaron Bummer with two scoreless. Dylan Lee, Pierce Johnson, and Raisel Iglesias each with one scoreless, combined to uh, five strikeouts. Three. Pierce Johnson walked a lot. I think he walked the bases loaded, but he got out of it, so he should be just fine. Just give me a second. I need to watch this Matt Olson stolen base. Sorry to all my audio listeners. You probably can't see me locked in on my screen right now. Wow, no throw. Matty Wheels. All right. Good job, Matt. That almost deserves series MVP. But with that being said, um, Michael Harris is this Guardians series MVP. He batted 366, one home run, and four RBIs in this series. He has just been on fire, like I said earlier. Um, so yeah, good job, Mike, as I like to call him. You know, we're pretty good friends when he's off of the diamond. So, moving on to our next topic, some roster moves. Not many roster moves happened. Ronald Acuna came off the IL. Um, that happened. I believe we optioned. Yeah, we sent Davis Daniel to Gwinnett, and we sent Sandy Leone to Gwinnett. On rehab assignment, I didn't know that. Um, so yeah, we DFA'd. Oh, we signed Vidal Brujan. That happened. We traded for Vidal Brujan. We traded. No, I don't know. We got Vidal Brujan. We did in fact get Vidal Brujan, and he got a hit. I think got a few hits actually. So go Vidal Brujan. Welcome to Braves country. We're happy to have you. I hope you are our franchise left fielder. Let me see. Now one hit. Got some Marlins. So great job, Vidal. He walks a good amount. Um, so yeah, good job, Vidal Brujan. We love you, man. Um, but yeah, we activated Acuna. DFA Carlos Carrasco. I kind of mentioned these throughout the episode. Um, so yeah, overall, just a really solid two series for the Braves. Had a good series against the Marlins. I'm just hoping that, this isn't one of those things where, now we're only 12 games under 500. I hope in a week we're not back to, close to 20 games under 500 like we were a week ago, and how I've kind of felt we've been for like the last like 3 months basically. Um, so yeah, that's really all the roster moves that happened. I believe Austin Riley got sent down or got put on the IL before I made the last episode, so I talked about that already. Um, moving on to this upcoming Braves series, we have a run coming up for this Braves team. Um, it's gonna be rough. I will say that it's gonna be a rough couple series for the Braves. We have the White Sox, which shouldn't be crazy. Spencer Strider, Bryce Elder, and Hurston Waldrop are starting those games. That series is starting tomorrow. But then after that, we go on a 5 series run of Mets, Marlins, Phillies, Cubs, Mariners, Cubs, and Astros. We might not win a single game for the next 2 weeks after this White Sox series. We're not winning any games in this White Sox series. You just never know what's going to happen with this Braves team. Um, Offense got to lock in. Starters have to lock in. I'm fairly confident in our bullpen after the last couple games. Um, so yeah, let's go over these pitching matchups really quick for this White Sox series. Spencer Strider coming off of a few rough starts. His ERA is close to 5 right now. Once again, not worried. And for the White Sox in game 1 of this series, on the mound, they have. All right. That's nice. Okay. My database is not working. My few audio listeners on Spotify, if any, are probably very confused about all the silence in this episode because this is professional. This is professional podcasting right here. Who's like, who is Ben Verlander, really, when there's me? Um, so anyway, looking at this White Sox series coming up, on the mound for the White Sox in game 1 is apparently nobody because my database is not working. I will go on my phone for my database. Oh, my database is working. On the mound for the White Sox is Yoendrys Gomez. Can't say I've ever heard of the guy. Um, I hope we hit him up. I hope we hit him a lot. He has an ERA close to 5. I think they claimed him off of waivers or got him at the deadline a few weeks ago. Yeah, they got him in May. So, yeah, I can't say I've ever heard of this guy, but hopefully we can hit him up. Doesn't seem too nasty, at least from my eye. Next up is Shane Smith. Once again, can't say I've heard of the guy. Um, this White Sox team is really just something, man. I tell you, there's something. ERA close to or it is 4, just over 4 on the season. He's not that bad. I mean, I've seen worse. I saw Carlos Carrasco for a few games this year. So Shane Smith on the mound for game 2 against Bryce Elder, and the final pitching battle, what everybody's been waiting for, Hurston Waldrop versus Aaron Civale. Big time matchup here in game 3 of this White Sox series. This game might be 0-0 until like the 20th inning. You know, Aaron Civale is just so nasty. Um, he has an ERA close to 5, 4.88, and is 3-8 on the year, but wins don't really matter that much. Um, Kind of on and off. Looking at his recent starts, two shutout outings against the Cubs and Angels and Pirates, but then he goes out against the Guardians in 3.1 gives up 9 runs, and against the Royals gives up 3 in 6 innings. So, I'm hoping that we can attack this kind of weaker pitching staff from the White Sox in this upcoming series, and we can keep this winning streak alive, and we can ride off into the sunset on this lost season, even though there's still a good month and a half left. Yeah. Um. So yeah. With that being said, I think that brings us to the end of episode 5 of the Chopping It Up Braves podcast. I Once again, I've been Aaron. Nice seeing you again. I'll be back with week by series updates. I haven't been able to record in here at night a lot really recently, but I'll be back with those. So series by series episodes, probably shorter episodes from the ones I've been making since I haven't been able to record here. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to those, and I will see you guys in probably 3 days on Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.